Namaste and welcome to today's English class of grade 10. Today we are in unit 5, science and experiment. Okay, so we have been making experiments, talking about science, experiment in this unit, and today we are dealing with speaking and listening. And here as well we will talk about some we will get some scientific knowledge over here, or we will do some experiment. Okay, we will we will watch experiment related to experiment. All right, but our speaking is not about science experiment. Okay, so it is about something else. So I am going to start our speaking session with different activities. Okay, here it goes. What it goes? Our speaking session. Okay, so our speaking session is, here it goes. The first question, okay, I have a question over here. What would you do if you won a lottery of 10 lakh? Okay, so our speaking activities is related to this question. Can you make a guess what we are learning over here in our speaking session? Okay, I think you should answer this question first, then you will come to know what we are learning. What would you do if you won a lottery of 10 lakh? All right, I'm going to write on the board. So, our answer is I would buy a car. Okay, I would buy a car. What else would you do? Next, I would visit different places of Nepal. Okay, if I won a lottery of 10 lakh, I would buy a car. I would visit different places of Nepal. So, have you made the guess what we are learning? Yes, we are learning about conditional sentences, related to conditional sentences. Okay, here are, now let's go to the some conversations, dialogues based on the same question. Okay, here, read and act out the following conversation. Okay, here are some dialogues, conversations related to it. First of all, look at the picture. Can you make a guess what's going on? Okay, they are observing. Two people are observing in a playground. It looks like playground. What are they doing? Let's listen to their conversation. Desika, right? Desika, what is she saying? Who do you think will win the race? So they are observing race and asking, who do you think will win the race? Saloni, I think Poonam will. Srishti, another person, says, yes, if she runs faster, she will surpass them all. Okay, focus on the third one. If she runs faster, she will surpass them all. She will win. If she runs faster, she will win. That means, right? Okay, focus these kind of statements. Next, read and act out the following conversation. Continue. Next one is Srijana. Why do you think I have to study hard? Kritika. Because if you study hard, you will get better results. If you study hard, you will get better results. Manoj. Yes, if you get good results, you can get a scholarship. Okay, 3 people are talking about that. But our focus should be here. If you study hard, you will get better results. If you get good results, you can get a scholarship. So there is condition, right? If you study hard is condition. There is condition and result. So such kind of sentences are called conditional sentence, right? The same thing we are going to practice in this practice session as well. Work in pairs, have similar conversation in the following situations given below. The first situation given over here: eat too much, gain weight, get lazy. Second is rain this evening, stay at home, keep in touch with parents. C. Keep on heating, water changes into vapor, dries up. D. Not stop smoking, get cancer, die early. So these all are situations, clues. On the basis of these clues, let's convert it into dialogues. Okay. Eat too much, gain weight, get lazy. Okay, so I have given a picture for this situation related to the situation. Saurabh, why do you think I have to stop eating too much? Kritan, because if you eat too much, you'll gain weight. Manzil, yes, if you gain weight, you will be unhealthy, right? If you eat too much, you will gain weight. If you gain weight, you will be unhealthy. Okay, focus these kind of sentences while writing your own dialogue. These are examples that I have given to you. You can also write your own dialogue, but focusing on these conditional sentences. B. Rain this evening, stay at home, keep in touch with parents. Simon, it's raining outside and it is already evening. What do you think I should do? Krisa, stay here at my home. If you go now, you'll be wait. Yes, Mohan. Yes, if you stay here, you can stay and keep in touch with your parents. Stay in touch with your parents. Yes, if you stay here, you can stay in touch with your parents. Next, keep on heating, water changes into vapor, dries up. Somya, why do you think I have to keep my clothes in the sun for heating? Kritan, because if you keep your clothes in the sun, water changes into vapor. Manita, yes, if you keep clothes in the sun, it will dry up quickly. D. Not stop smoking, get cancer, die early. Sajan, why do you think I have to stop smoking? Kriti, because if you do not stop smoking, you will get cancer. Manoj, yes, if you get cancer, you will die early. Okay, so in this way, you can create conversations or dialogues. Okay, all right. Now we are moving to exercise C. Activity C. Okay, work in pairs, have conversation using the following clues as in the example. Example: if you were a food, what would you be? If you were a food, what would you be? Nima. If you were the food, what item would you be? Question. And Prava, well, if I were a food item, I would be an apple. Nima, why is that? Why is that? Prava, because if one ate an apple a day, he would keep doctors away and people in the world would be healthy. Okay, so this is the situation of if you were a food item, what would you be? Likewise, we have some questions, set of questions. On the basis of those questions, you also create dialogues in as given in the example. So what's there? What are the situations over there? Let's go through these situations. Okay, A number. What laws would you abolish if you could? So A would ask, what laws would you abolish if you could? And B has to answer with the condition. So if I could, I would abolish the law of, okay, maybe child marriage. Okay, so the so-called different types of the laws which should be removed. This is imaginary conditions, right? So you could write any of the laws that you would like to abolish. You can do it that way. Then next, which planet would you like to go if you were given an offer? If I were given an offer, I would go to where? Which planet would you go? Jupiter, Saturn? Which planet you would like to go? Or where you could go? So why? Mention the reason. I would go to Jupiter because you can give the reason. C. Why wouldn't you open the windows? I would not open the windows. If I open window, it will be airy, or it will blow my papers out. Why would you water the plants? I would water the plants. If I don't water the plants, plants will die, right? Dried up. Why would you study law? I would study law. If I studied law, I would know all the rules, policies of the nation. Okay, so in this way you can create conversation yourself. All right, so this much for speaking session. Now we have another session to move on. Do you know what is that? Yes, I have already informed you that today we have listening sessions as well. Okay, here it goes, listening session. And what is this listening about? We will soon come to know by looking at this picture. Okay, look at the picture and answer the following questions. First of all, look at this picture, two pictures. What do you see over here? Does it look like a juice, right, of different colors? Juice of different colors. What do you think? What is this? And second picture, there is what? What is there? It looks like glass of water, isn't it? What does it look like? And what is this yellow color, some liquid over here? We'll soon come to know what is this, right? What two questions are given here? All right. A, what object do you see in the picture? Okay, so we can just guess. Okay, these could be some solutions. As our lesson unit is related with science and experiments, we could guess these must be some solutions, right? B, why are there the layers of liquids in the glass? There are different layers of liquids, right? Why it is so? Okay, so we can answer in this way. Okay, a glass and solution of different colors in it. We could see, what we could see over here is a glass is there. It must be solution of 3 different colors. And it may be because of their qualities. Okay, it may be because of their quality, right? Quality of these colors. This is floating. And whether it is right or not, we'll soon come to know after listening. So all of you, are you ready for listening? Yes, here it goes, your first listening, and let's guess our guesses are right or wrong. Here it goes, first listening.
Today, I'm going to show you a simple science experiment that you can try at home to learn about density. Start by taking an empty glass and tip in some water and food colouring. Then add some syrup or treacle. And I'm going to add a little bit more water to make the layer a bit thicker. Then finally, fill the glass up with some oil and leave it to settle for about 15 minutes. These liquids separate out into different layers because they're different densities and they don't mix. The syrup has the highest density, so it sits on the bottom, and the oil, which has the lowest density, rises to the top. Try dropping different objects in to see what happens. If we drop this metal nut in, which is really dense, you can see it sinks right to the bottom. But if I take this grape and drop it in, it sinks through the oil and water, but sits on the syrup. This is because the syrup is denser than the grape. Pretty cool, huh? Now if I take this plastic bottle top and drop it in, it slowly sinks through the oil and sits on the water. And finally, if I take this piece of sponge and drop it in, it sits on top. The oil is denser than the sponge. You can try dropping different objects in to see which fluids are denser. I also found shining a torch beam down from above gives a really nice effect.
Alright, our listening is over, right? Our first listening is over, and we have come to know that yes, this is related with the experiment of different food color and then oil, right? There's experiment about this, and this is due to, what is the reason? Yes, this is because of their qualities, and what quality is particularly that we'll come to discuss in next activity, that is answer the following session. Here are the questions. B. Answer these questions. A. What is the narrator experimenting about? Okay, this is exactly, you have to find out what experiment is that. So somehow you have already got the idea with your first listening, though please be sure and write after second listening only, because I'm going to play it for the second time. So after second listening, be sure and write about it. B. Which liquids is the experimenter using? So liquid names. Write down which liquids are there. C. In what order do the liquids fix in the glass? D. What happens when we drop a plastic bottle top into the glass? And finally, E number. Why do the liquids not mix? So here it goes, your second listening. Listen to the audio carefully and then find out answers of these questions. Are you ready, all of you? Very good. Okay, here it goes.
Today, I'm going to show you a simple science experiment that you can try at home to learn about density. Start by taking an empty glass and tip in some water and food colouring. Then add some syrup or treacle. And I'm going to add a little bit more water to make the layer a bit thicker. Then finally, fill the glass up with some oil and leave it to settle for about 15 minutes. These liquids separate out into different layers because they're different densities and they don't mix. The syrup has the highest density, so it sits on the bottom, and the oil, which has the lowest density, rises to the top. Try dropping different objects in to see what happens. If we drop this metal nut in, which is really dense, you can see it sinks right to the bottom. But if I take this grape and drop it in, it sinks through the oil and water, but sits on the syrup. This is because the syrup is denser than the grape. Pretty cool, huh? Now if I take this plastic bottle top and drop it in, it slowly sinks through the oil and sits on the water. And finally, if I take this piece of sponge and drop it in, it sits on top. The oil is denser than the sponge. You can try dropping different objects in to see which fluids are denser. I also found shining a torch beam down from above gives a really nice effect.
Okay, we have completed our second listening as well. Now it's time for us to write answers. Are you ready? Alright, what is our first question? What is the narrator experimenting about? What is the experimentation? Yes, the experimenting about, it is about density. Okay, what we were discussing in the before listening about the picture, quality, maybe the quality of the solution. This is because of density. Okay, density, because of density, the different layers were there in the glass. B. Which liquid is experimenter using? Which liquids were there? He was talking about different liquids. So what were the liquids? Yes, he was talking about oil, water and food coloring syrup. So what layers we saw in the glass? 3 colors. three different colors. They were oil, water, and food color. Let's move to next question. C. In what order do the liquids fix in the glass? So it is, the right order is, the syrup with the highest density sits at the bottom. So at the bottom there is syrup, food syrup, and oil with lowest density rises on the top. This is what the order in the glass. Then D, question D. What happens when we drop a plastic bottle top in the glass? What happens? What is the answer? Okay, here it goes. Slowly sinks through the oil, sits on the water. So top layer is of oil, right? So it goes through the top layer is of oil. So the plastic bottle goes from the sinks in the oil, sits on the water. Then okay, final question is left, that is, why do liquids not mix? It is because of, okay, we have already told why they stay in the different layers. What was the reason? Because of difference in density. They have different density. That's why they have different layer, not mixing with each other. They do not mix with each other because of density. Okay, so with this we have completed our question answer session as well. How many times we have already finished listening? 2 times, yes. So one more listening is left, third or last time is left, and that is for to be done, to do this activity C. All of you get ready for this activity C. Listen to the audio and complete sentences with correct words. You will be listening. You'll be listening one more time the audio, and you have to fill up these sentences with correct answer. Okay. A. The spawns sit on the where. Okay. So particular word you have to fill over here. B. Objects with what density? In, on the bottom. What objects with what density sit on the bottom? C. After filling the oil, the mixer is left to settle for about how much time? Minutes. You have to find out how many minutes. Then D. The density of the rat, what, is less than that of syrup, which you have to write down particular name of the matter. Which matter has the less density than that of syrup and more than of oil. Okay, so you have to write the word over here. To find out the right answer, what do we need to do? Obviously, you are not to answer by yourself, but you need to write correct answer after listening to the audio. Okay, maybe from the first or second listening, you must have guessed the answer, but you are to be confirmed after listening to the third or last time. Are you ready, all of you? Very good. Here it goes, your third and last listening.
Today, I'm going to show you a simple science experiment that you can try at home to learn about density. Start by taking an empty glass and tip in some water and food colouring. Then add some syrup or treacle. And I'm going to add a little bit more water to make the layer a bit thicker. Then finally, fill the glass up with some oil and leave it to settle for about 15 minutes. These liquids separate out into different layers because they're different densities and they don't mix. The syrup has the highest density, so it sits on the bottom, and the oil, which has the lowest density, rises to the top. Try dropping different objects in to see what happens. If we drop this metal nut in, which is really dense, you can see it sinks right to the bottom. But if I take this grape and drop it in, it sinks through the oil and water but sits on the syrup. This is because the syrup is denser than the grape. Pretty cool, huh? Now if I take this plastic bottle top and drop it in, it slowly sinks through the oil and sits on the water. And finally, if I take this piece of sponge and drop it in, it sits on top. The oil is denser than the sponge. You can try dropping different objects in to see which fluids are denser. I also found shining a torch beam down from above gives a really nice effect.
Okay, we have done with our third and last listening. Now we are to discuss the answers of C. A. The sponge sits on the where? On the top. Next, B. Objects with density on the bottom. So, objects with, what is the word? Yes, highest density sit on the bottom. Next, C. After filling the oil, the mixture is left to settle for about how much time? 15 minutes. Yes, 15 minutes. D. The density of what? Density of water is less than that of syrup and more than of oil. Okay, this is the right answer. Let me clap for students who guessed the answer correctly. Here it goes. Clap for you. Okay, we are done with our activities A, B and C. Now it's time for us to do some experiment. Would you like experiments? Doing experiments? Here is the question about experiment in our next session. Okay, if you like experimenting, here is the question. Why do water and vegetable oil not mix? Talk to your friends. Okay, so without reading this, think up why water and water they do not mix. For this, you have to do an experiment. Take a glass of water. Okay, take a glass of water and put some drops of oil on it. What happens? What happens? Oil floats on the water, right? Oil flows on water instead of mixing into it. Just like in our listening session, we just watched a glass of water with different layers. So a glass of water is there with oil layered up in the glass. So what is this? Why this happens? Now let's go and learn about it. Okay, so here is about oil molecules. Okay, we have learned about oil molecules. Like what was that? Oil molecule one O, right? Oxygen and another 2 hydrogen, right? We have already learned about this is water molecule. So such water molecules or oil molecules. So like that, oil also has its molecule, oil molecules. So oil molecules, however, are non-polar. It is called non-polar. And they can't form hydrogen bonds. Non-polar means they don't have positive and negative both quality. This water molecule, they have positive and negative both polars. They are polar, so they have quality of positive and negative bonding. So they have that quality, but oil doesn't have. That's why they cannot form hydrogen bonds if you put oil and water in a container. So if we take a glass, okay, if we take a glass with water and pour some oil on it, it sits on the water, floats on the water because of what? Density, right? If you put oil and water in a container, the water molecules will bunch up together and the oil molecules will bunch up together. So they will sit separately, bunch up. The molecules, they stay separately. forming two distinct layers. That's why there will be different layer, one layer of water, another layer of oil. So this is the reason they are what? Oil molecules are non-polar. The main answer is oil molecules are non-polar. Okay, with related to this, I have brought a short video. Please watch and learn about it.
Where we ask and answer some of the most delicious food questions kids have, like why don't oil and water mix? Let's dive right into the awesome science on this one, starting with water. Water molecules are polar, meaning they both have a positive and negative charge, just like a magnet. Because opposites attract, the positive ends of water molecules stick to the negative ends of other water molecules, forming bonds. But oil molecules are non-polar, so they neither have a positive nor negative charge. This is what prevents them from sticking to the water molecules and mixing all together. But wait a minute, what if I want them to mix? Well, whisking oil and water together breaks the liquids into itty-bitty droplets, dispersing them evenly. That's good, but it doesn't last. Did you know? To get oil and water to stay mixed, you need some help from an emulsifier, which can be found in egg yolks, a star ingredient in mayonnaise. Emulsifiers are special molecules that bridge the gap between two liquids that don't get along, like oil and water. I guess mediators are helpful in cooking too.
Thank you for watching, everyone. So you must have learned the reason of not mixing water and oil together, right? So they bunch up differently in a solution. They cannot be a single solution. They sit separately in a container. But if we have to mix, we need to take help from the another matter. Just like in the video shown, we can take egg yolks, right? The yellow part of the egg that can help to mix water and oil together, like in mayonnaise sauce. So for mayonnaise sauce, what happens? Oil, water, and then egg yolks is used and mixed up, and it can help oil and water to mix up. Okay, this is the solutions that can help you even in your kitchen. All right, with this information, with this tip, I would like to announce that today's class is about to over. I hope you have learned about speaking and all the listening activities, and you enjoyed this class. That's all for today. Thank you. Namaste.